Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025, back here for Daily Shakeup number 1016. And today I want to talk about a concept and certainly a word that I'd say we almost never hear about in the workplace. And frankly, we don't even hear about it in our personal lives. And we could use an injection of it in both worlds, personal and professional. And the concept is grace. Now, you may say, what is grace? We typically think about someone has grace. They walk with grace. They communicate with grace. And that's part of it, the communication. But what I'm really getting at is the idea or the concept of being willing to provide or offer grace to others. And what that really means is be focused on in what ways we can lift them up, teach them, help them grow, learn all sorts of things, but do it in a way that's more about acknowledgement and demonstrating caring concern for who they are and what they're achieving and where they have gaps to help them close the gaps, as opposed to the punishing mindset, because grace and punishment don't fit together. And too many of us have grown up in a world because it was modeled for us, where in our leadership we think about, well, I've got to use this fear-based model of, let's call it accountability. That's a big bucket, but let's go with that. And we say, we don't realize it's fear-based, but it is because it's all about being rough and harsh with people. We then label it direct, and we'll say something like, hey, I'm just being brutally honest. Well, honesty is not brutal. What's brutal about honesty is the way it's delivered, and it's typically offered without grace. And the thing is, grace is not about giving someone a pass. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. It's not about being nice. Someone recently said, my struggle is I just want to be nice. That's not what it's about. But think about, where does grace perhaps show up in our management and leadership? And that's what we might perceive or previously perceived as nice, but in fact, it was just something called grace. And let me give you an example. So, an example of grace: several months ago, I was having a conversation with someone I had just met, and I said something that in the moment I didn't realize had an impact on them. And it was sort of a loose phrase, but it did. And it related to the LGBTQ plus community. And I certainly didn't intend that impact. But instead of the person getting angry or harsh or critical, she looked at me and just said to me, hey, I just want to let you know this. And my thought was, and I said to her, wow, thank you for the grace, because the grace allowed me to learn, as opposed to what could have been what I perceived as an attack, right? And so I've got to defend and justify. And in those moments, I'm not learning. So, where are our opportunities to offer grace when people make a mistake? They trip up, whether it's in their communication, in their actual deeds. Yes, we can have accountability. Yes, we have expectations. But if the goal is for people to learn, grow, and develop, we've got to find our way to bring more grace into our leadership. That's it. Love to hear your thoughts.